In our Old Testament reading there from Dave, we were reminded that God has known us thoroughly before we were even born. The final sentence of that psalm is a plea to God to lead the writer on the road to everlasting life in his presence. In the New Testament, we heard from the beginning of a letter from Paul, formerly a committed enemy of Jesus, writing to new Christian believers in the city of Ephesus in modern Turkey, where he spent nearly 2 years establishing a church. This morning, I hope you will feel encouraged as we explore some more of what God has done for us. Some of us have been part of this church, or others, for many years, but others may not yet have quite grasped what church is all about. So today I hope to remind us, or reveal to us, some aspects of life with Jesus. I spoke before about doing some family history research of my own, and it can be fascinating to investigate the lives of our ancestors, where we've come from. But through God's love shown to us in the gift of salvation through Jesus, our hope for the future, for our future, may lead along very different paths. Few of us will find ourselves related to royalty, although it does turn out that Donald Trump is related to the British royal family. Did you know that? It was in the Daily Mail, so it must be true. On his mother's side, about 400 years ago. But what is really important is not the past, but where our lives are today. Whatever age we currently are, from Hank, who I think is the oldest present, down to the youngest, and we have a very little one over there. Thank you for coming to visit us today. God still calls us his children. Whatever age we are, he calls us his brothers and sisters. That's an amazing privilege. A child of God and a sibling of Jesus. That's quite a big thought, isn't it? When we are feeling fed up, these thoughts should encourage us that we are loved and valued, just as much as any other follower of Jesus, and no one is better or worse than we are. Our world today can feel incredibly stressful, obsessed with success and wealth, popularity and physical perfection, whatever that is. But thankfully, that's not how God looks at us. If we have accepted his Son, we are in. Us mere humans are prone to feeling undervalued, dismissed, and life may feel pointless and unsatisfying sometimes. I would even go so far as to suggest that we Christians may be more prone to feelings of depression, as we may be more aware of our human fragility, our past choices, our guilt, and our tendency to sin. But we are told to trust in Jesus as our Saviour, accepting God's grace. These are thoughts to focus on with gratefulness. If God has forgiven us, then we should be able to forgive ourselves and not live in constant regret or sadness. Colossians chapter 3, verses 1 to 4 say, "Since we were raised from the dead with Christ, aim at what is in heaven, where Christ is sitting at the right hand of God. Think only about the things in heaven, not the things on earth. Your old sinful self has died, and your new life is kept with Christ in God. Christ is our life, and when he comes again, you will share in his glory." As Stacey, I was mentioning earlier, encourages people to let go of unwanted stuff in their lives, they may be things in our own lives that are holding us back from experiencing God's fullest blessings. Unhelpful habits, using bad language, destructive relationships maybe. Maybe a lifestyle spring clean is needed. We can ask God's help to make better choices, to form new habits and more wholesome relationships. We can clean up our lives and even share our experiences with others. These positive changes are called fruit, the product of good choices. You might think about our life like a plant that needs pruning to make it stronger, then fertilizing to produce glorious blossom, and then succulent fruit, with God as our gardener. When our faith is stronger, we can better resist the inevitable trials that will come along, more resilient and adaptable to the changes we meet in life. One way to build our strength is to study the Bible and learn more. Our faith is built on this foundation. Then we will feel more confident, not blown around in confusion and ignorance. Jesus warned his disciples that life would be hard. Think about how many times he sent his followers out in pairs. He said that a lot. You might consider a partner to pray and share with. That way, you keep each other accountable. So if I ask you now, who do you think you are? I hope you'll think of the song, Happy, Loved and Saved, that we sang earlier. If you've got children out there, you might like to teach it to them later. I hope those words will encourage us as we walk together in our faith. If you have thoughts or questions that you'd like to share with someone today, please find someone to talk to before you leave. In this church, we have deacons who are elected from our congregation, who are here to run the church and to serve you. I'm going to ask them now, if they don't mind, to stand up so that you can see who they are. You may like to talk with one or two of them today, if you think that would be helpful. Deacons, would you mind just standing up? I know Kay is outside with the youth group, and I'm also one of those deacons. Thank you. Have a good look at them. You might want to chat to them later. Thank you. Do sit down. I also made a little list of some of the Bible passages that I used in preparing what I've shared with you this morning. There's a little pile of paper on the edge of the stage if you feel like you'd like to take one of those and explore further for yourself. We're now going